We would like a few more people to have a go with the new supplier feature. And essentially that means linking suppliers to publishers and adding new suppliers where they don't exist now. What we really want to be careful about is getting this list correct. So it should represent the actual company and where it is based. So this is an example of New Zealand list, and it's a good one because, for example, Hardy Grant isn't actually based in New Zealand, but it has rights to distribute in New Zealand, or shall we, to supply in New Zealand. Now, if you look at Hardy Grant by clicking on the edit icon over here, you'll see there's a new option which is distribution rights New Zealand and Australia, and this allows the Australian site to show in both the New Zealand and the Australian shop lists. Now, to link a supplier to a publisher, the easiest way to do that is in purchase orders. Now I'm going to look up a imprint of Hardy Grant in this case. So ICHEL, oops, AEL. And to do this, if you see a set here, you can simply click set and type this supplier, AR, and you'll see Hardy Grant. Now, you'll see that it hasn't set all of them because you'll find that there'll be something subtly different about these publishers that have come into the system, and we can't change that because we just have we just get what data we get, so you have to do it twice in some cases. And then there's yet another. Now, is this the same thing? Oh, I'm not sure. So this is where we're leaving it to you because you'll know these things better. But essentially, that's, if you do nothing else, setting the supplier would be a good start. Now, we want it right, but actually it's not going to change, at least for now, the way you do business, because the distributor, i.e. the places that deliver their books, are staying the same for now. Eventually we're going to link these to the supplier rather than currently how they're linked to the publisher, which will make them much easier to manage. And we aim to have a clean up here as well in terms of the IDs used. So the next step is, if you find that you're trying to set a supplier and they don't exist, you need to add them. So you can create new by filling in the spaces here, and the thing about this is to be very exact, put the exact name of the company in as it would have in its own letterhead. And the head office for a supplier is kind of the head office general email, rather than the supplier is not the people that send you the books. They're not United, they're Penguin, for example, and the physical address of where they physically are. Now, the easier way to do this is, because most stuff is in the system already, rather than starting again, it's better to look for it in the distributor list. So if we look for, let's say, Scholastic, CHOL, so Scholastic. Now the thing here is, some of these have New Zealand sites, so if they really are in New Zealand, pick the New Zealand one. If they really do have a physical presence only in Australia, pick that one. And to create a supplier like this, you simply, and this one's been done here already because you can see the green guy, you can click on this little black guy in the middle here and it'll transfer, turn this distributor, the people that deliver the books, deal with the returns, etc. It'll gives them a place in the supplier setup as well. So it is only suppliers we want over there. So in this case, Scholastic's already over there, so it doesn't need to be done. So yeah, we would click this and maybe edit a little bit if required. This is Scholastic New Zealand, so it's obviously only got distribution rights in New Zealand. For Australia, it would be Scholastic Australia Limited, and Australia would be ticked alone. It's quite important that these things are done right. One thing we don't have is the SAN, so it'd be great if you would put those in. I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. That's the bulk of it. What we don't want to see is what we're seeing already in the Australian list. If you give me a moment. Here is things like Harper Rep. This is not a supplier. It's HarperCollins Publishers Australia Pty Limited. We only want one entity. We'll deal with things like reps another way in the cart, so you don't have to have all these extra distributor slash supplier IDs, which are really messing up the system and your life. Right, well, good luck and let us know how you go with this.